Hi everyone. Today we are going to talk about debentures. We just finished off with preference shares and equity shares. Now when we talked about preference and equity, we talked about shares. Those were the two types of shares. Today we are talking about acknowledgement of debt which company borrows from the public, the general public, and these people are known as the creditors of the company. It can be anybody whosoever buys the debentures of the company. Now, debenture holders have no right to vote, no right to control. They are the creditors of the company. It's a long-term debt. You can say it's for a longer tenure, and we have to pay a fixed rate of interest on debentures. Why debentures? Why not borrow from financial institution or commercial banks? We've already done that. We borrowed from commercial banks and financial institution. This is another source, and whenever we mix debt with equity, it turns out to be a better it gives a better earning to the equity shareholders. Why? Because one, debt is a cheaper source of finance, and second, interest is treated as an expense which is a tax deductible expense. So it makes it more cheaper or more available source of finance, and at that time the earning of the equity shareholders rises. So coming to the debentures, simple debentures. What do we mean by debentures? They are the acknowledgement of debt. These are the acknowledgement of debt that a company has borrowed a certain amount of money which it promises to pay in future date. There is no right to vote, no right to control. Debenture holders are termed as the creditors of the company. They are an important source of long-term debt. Debenture holders are paid a fixed rate of interest. The public issue of debentures required that the issue be rated by CRISIL. A company can issue different types of debenture. What is CRISIL and why we need a kind of rating from CRISIL? Like you have the rating for hotels, 7 star, 5 stars, 3 stars. Similarly, you have rating for companies, and that rating actually creates a creditworthiness of the company in the market, and people buy the shares as well as debentures of that particular company. Now, what does CRISIL do? It gives a rating. Credit Rating and Information Service of India Limited, this is called CRISIL. The role is it keeps a track record of the company, how company is doing, so that the investors can invest in it. It talks about profitability. So if the company is profitable, then only it encourages investors to put money into the particular company. It tracks the debt service capacity of the firm. That debt service capacity means how the company is ready to pay off its interest on the debt as well as the principal amount. It also keeps a track on the creditworthiness of the firm. It also highlights the perceived risk of lending, whether because of creditworthiness, the risk of lending is actually made very clear. Now, this was all about CRISIL. This is about the debentures. Let's come to the different types of debentures. After different types of debentures, we will be talking about merits and demerits of debentures. Now, starting with the types of debentures, secured debentures are the ones which create charge on the assets of the company. Anyhow, whenever you have any kind of, when you borrow from somewhere, you have to keep something as a collateral or security. So, the secured debentures are the one in which you create the charge on the asset, that is you mortgage something or you keep something as security. Unsecured do not carry any charge, so there is no mortgage. Registered are the ones which are duly recorded in the register of debenture holders and can be transferred through instrument of transfer only. Whereas in comparison to the registered, there is another type of debenture that is called bearer, which are transferable by just delivery. You deliver and these get transferred. They are not recorded thoroughly in the book, recorded in the register. Convertible are those which can be converted to equity shares after expiry of a period, maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, as stated by the company at the time of issuing debentures. Non-convertible are those which cannot be converted into equity shares. Last one are the, not last one, the last type of debentures are first debenture. These are paid before other debenture holders are paid. So, and the second ones are paid once the first debenture holders are paid. So, any kind of debenture holders, first these will be paid, these will be paid, that is first debenture holders. Second are those which are paid after the first debentures have been paid back. This is about different types of debentures. Next we come to is the merits and limitation of debentures. Like I told, we'll start with the merits of debentures. First, it is preferred by investors who want fixed income at lesser risk. So, this fixed income, the rate of interest is fixed. From company's point of view, it is fixed, and for the investors also, it is fixed. And once they get the fixed rate of return, they are very happy about it because they don't want any fluctuating returns. They don't want to take any risk also. Second, debentures are fixed charge funds and do not participate in the profits of the company. Nothing to do with the profits of the company. Interest on debenture is treated as an expense. This expense makes it a tax deductible one, and that is why debt comes out to be a cheaper source of finance. We will discuss about it here in the fifth point. The issue of debentures is suitable in situation when the sales and earnings are relatively stable. Yes, you should have the capacity of paying off the debt, that is the interest on debt as well as the principal amount. Debentures do not carry voting rights, therefore do not dilute the control of equity shareholders. They do not interfere, no right to vote, no right to participate. They just contribute money, get aside. At the end of the year, they ask for their interest, and that's it. Financing through debentures is less costly as interest paid on debentures is fixed. One, it is fixed and a tax deductible expense, like you prepare your P&L account, and when you write interest and your net profit reduces because of interest, and that interest that on that net profit tax is comparatively less. So that is why when we pay less tax and interest comes out to be an expense, it becomes a tax deductible expense, which makes our tax liability comparatively lesser. And the use of debt with equity always helps in increasing the price of the equity shareholders. So that is why we prefer debt along with equity. Debentures are preferred in that case. Limitation. As a fixed charge instrument, debentures put a permanent burden on the earnings of the company because there is a greater risk when earnings of the company fluctuate. Yes, every time you have to pay back the interest, as well as sometimes you have to pay back the principal amount also. So you have to create a provision for that. That is in the next point. But otherwise, simple, it's a permanent burden on the company, that you have a burden of paying of interest every end of the year, that is a end of the financial year. In the case of redeemable debentures, the company has to make provision for payment on specific date even during the period of financial difficulty. Yes, company creates provision because all of a sudden you cannot take out money from your company and pay off the total principal amount to too many debenture holders. So what you have to do is you have to create a provision for the same. Next, each company has certain borrowing capacity. With the issue of debentures, the capacity of company to borrow further reduces. Yes, you can borrow to an extent. Beyond that, you cannot borrow. Why you cannot borrow beyond that extent? Because ultimately, where will you pay the interest or the principal amount from? So, to the extent to some extent you can borrow, and rest you have to just be assured that you use your own money. So these were the merit and limitations of debentures. We talked about the types of debentures, we talked about debentures. Now we're coming to next topic, ADR and GDR. These are international source of financing, and we're going to discuss them soon. So coming on to the next topic, ADR and GDR. Like I told you, international source of financing. What are ADRs? American Depository Receipt. They originated in 1920s, and ADR is a negotiable financial instrument containing underlying equity shares. Of course, these are talking about equity shares, but they are of non-US companies and is traded as US stock exchange. They are not from US company, but they are non-US companies, but they are traded in US stock exchange. Whereas when we talk about the GDRs, immediately I'll come to the features later on. Global Depository Receipt is a negotiable financial instrument that represents underlying shares of a company issued in a foreign country. Like India can raise, the companies from India can raise their GDRs in US dollars in USA or any other country. So GDRs are what? GDR is a negotiable financial instrument that represents underlying shares of a company issued in a foreign country and is in foreign currency. Anywhere, in any foreign country and in any type of foreign currency, preferable US dollars, but it can also be raised in pounds and euros. Now, coming to the features of ADR, face value is in US currency and issued in USA. That's it. When we come to the features of GDR, represent underlying equity shares, that is on conversion of GDR, how many equity shares will be allotted to GDR holder. Depends from company to company that how many equity shares will you give for the GDR purpose, Global Depository Receipts. Issue in foreign country, that is they are other than its origin, so wherever they are originated, like I gave an example from India, the GDRs were issued in US, they were issued the companies in Luxembourg also they were issued, so their GDRs have been issued in different places. Issue in foreign currency, usually US dollars, sometimes in euros and pounds also, like it's usually in US dollars, but sometimes euros and pounds are also used. These are convertible into equity shares, that's why underlying equity shares have been talked about. Trading in stock exchange, simple, when you deal in equity shares which originate from somewhere else, but when they actually get traded on the American stock exchange, they are known as ADR. When they are traded anywhere in the world but the origin is from the different country, then it is known as GDR. Now, difference between ADR and GDR may be issued in only in US financial market by a non-US company. GDR may be issued by any foreign company throughout the world. ADR is listed in trading only in US stock exchange, may be listed in any foreign stock exchange. It is negotiable in US only, is negotiable throughout the world. Investors can be these can be issued only to American citizens, can be issued to people of any nationality. So this was all about GDRs and ADRs, and very simple international source of financing. When you talk about picking up your equity shares and you go global, it is GDR. Picking up your equity shares and only in America, it's ADR. Coming to IDR. Next is IDR. What is IDR? Exactly like what your GDRs and ADRs are, IDRs are the same. Only difference is that we don't go to the foreign country to issue our equity shares. We don't make it a global receipts. What foreign companies do, they come to India and they just float their they float their equity shares out here and people in India buy it. IDR is Indian Depository Receipt. It is a negotiable financial instrument that represents underlying shares of a foreign company. Now here, very important to know, foreign company issued in India and an Indian currency. So we get it in Indian currency also. Now features, any foreign company which meets eligibility criteria may issue IDR. There are some provision, there are some criterias regarding the capital investment, everything. If those criteria are met, then you can issue your IDR out here. An IDR may be converted into underlying share only after 1 year, okay, from the date of issue of IDRs, subject to compliance of provision. If all provisions are properly fulfilled, then within 1 year you get permission to issue your IDR. Like you've just sent a request for getting IDR in India, it takes 1 year's time to make it public. IDR are to be listed in Indian stock exchange for trading like any other securities or like any other equity shares. So similarly, IDRs are also done that way, but they are shares of the foreign company in Indian currency. Once we finish off with IDR, ADR and GDR, now we're coming to one simple difference. This is the last topic of the chapter. This is difference between shares and debentures and equity and preference. Very easy difference, but we must know it in case if it comes in the examination, you must know it. So starting with shares and debentures, shares, relation with the company, they are the owners of the company, these are the creditors of the company. Then we talk about return, shares holders get dividend, they get interest. On the basis of participation in management, shareholders have the right to participate, debenture holders have no right to participate or vote. Refund shares are not to, or shareholders are not to be paid until unless the liquidation of the company. That also in case if all people are paid, the residual claimant these people are, if it is left over, they will get. Debenture holders are to be paid back in all cases. Then security, there is no mortgage required here, there is no mortgage required here. Next we come to is the difference between equity and preference. Again, participation in management. Equity shareholders have the right to participate. Preference shareholders do not have the right to participate. Here the face value is generally low. In multiples of 10 and hundreds, it's generally high. Then right to dividend after paying on preference shares. If you remember, I told in the previous videos that first of all we pay to whom? First of all we pay to the creditors of the company or to the debenture holders of the company or any financial institution or commercial bank where we have to pay interest. After that we pay to the preference shareholders, and then last one to receive is the equity shareholder. So after paying on preference shares we pay to the equity shareholders. Before paying on equity shares, preference shareholders get that is why they have the preferential right. Rate of dividend is fluctuating out here, it is fixed out here. Degree of risk is higher out here, it is lower with the preference share. So we finish off the chapter with this, and we'll be doing the synopsis next, but for now it's bye bye. Enjoy.